This Saturday I went to Bruges with Kelly and her boyfriend to see John Green.
If we just don't move, it won't see us.
Is it still there?
I think it's staring right into my soul.
We arrived too early, so we took a boat trip. And apparently there was a pelican house or something like that. We even saw the tiniest window ever. After this boat trip, we went to the bookstore.
I wasn't going to be able to see Nerd Fighters, so that made me sad, and they made this possible. And a very visceral way of thanking them would be to purchase a book. It doesn't even have to be a book by me. I'm happy to sign a book that someone else wrote as well, if it's purchased here. But they do have books by me, if you're so inclined. So yeah. That would be a very nice way of supporting the existence of nice bookstores like this one in Brugge. And yeah, so I'll sign all your stuff and then we can maybe just go outside and we'll hang out in the beautiful weather. Yeah?
But first we had our book signed.
So yeah, this is written by John Green. Yeah, it's green. Yeah, it's John Green. Jan. Jan Jantje. I already have all your books.
Ah, but you bought this here?
Yeah.
Well, that makes me happy. It's a good book too.
Yeah.
You're not going to be disappointed.
It's like his favorite book.
And then Kelly asked John if he could sign her boyfriend.
Break it. It's mostly a rule for girls, but then if I break it for a boy, it's going to get back to the girls.
It's actually for her.
Yeah. Well, that's, you know, I'm glad though, the important thing is that you're happy. That's a post office, Hank. Okay. But my mom believed I required treatment, so she took me to see my regular Dr. Jim, who agreed that I was veritably swimming in a paralyzing and totally clinical depression, and that I mustn't fear the world, and that therefore my meds should be adjusted, and also I should attend this weekly support group. The support group featured a rotating cast of characters in various states of tumor-driven unwellness. Why did the cast rotate? A side effect of dying. How he had cancer in one of his nuts and they thought he was going to die. Do we have that word? Nuts? Balls? Testicles? Okay. How he had cancer in one of his balls and they thought he was going to die. I love this guy. I'm going to skip ahead if I can. On your little phone. I don't mean to make fun of your phone. I mean, I make fun of this phone, but here we are sitting in a park, and I'm able to download my new book onto a device that is smaller than my hand. So maybe I shouldn't complain. Was it weird writing from a girl's point of view? Not really. I mean, it should have been weird, but for some reason it really wasn't. And I kept having my wife read it, and I'm being like, "Does this sound like a girl?" And she was like, "Yeah." You know? The only time it doesn't sound like a girl is when I would dress her. You know, Sarah would always be like, no. She's like, you dress her like she was 16 in 1995. Because of course, like in my mind, all of these girls are wearing beautiful sundresses and yeah, they just look hot according to my definition of hot from what is now like 20 years ago. So yeah, so she like would change the dresses or the blouses, or I don't even know the words. She literally wrote it. She wrote the clothing, and then I wrote the rest. Angle, light, you. You know, make sure my head is in the frame. That's the main thing. And it's recording now. So just make sure that my head is, yeah. Can you see my head? That's the big thing. Yeah. So that's a little bit from my new book. Oh, you don't. Thanks. What'd she say? What'd he say?
Thank you.
Here. Will you lock me off? I trust you. No, I don't like the one without nuts at all. No, the other guy, Augustus. That's not to take anything away from people who don't have testicles. I don't mean that as an attack on them at all. It's just that, like, I don't want you to like the support group leader, because these support groups, I don't know if you've ever been to them, but I've been to them over the years, not for cancer specifically, but for all kinds of other things. And they're quite, like, horrible, you know, in their way. They can be very helpful, but they're also sort of horrible. Well, I think I'm going to go, because I think I have to go to the next thing.
And suddenly there was this guy creeping up behind John.
Hundreds of thousands.
Viva la loco se!
It's not working!
No!
Why?
Sadly enough, I had to go home with my book.